got back from the grocery store. I'm back to doing the pickups instead of going in the store because Texas COVID's getting pretty bad. What do you think? I put my hair all the way up, even in the back. Just left a couple little stragglers out. Just Nina did this TMI tag, and she didn't tag me, but I'm going to do it anyway. If you don't know what TMI means, it's too much information. There's 50 on here, so it's probably way too much information. It's a different tag than normal, so it's definitely a get to know you tag because it's got some kind of personal stuff on there. What are you wearing? Well, I'm wearing this leopard shirt, some gray leggings, my new tinnies, socks, and underwear. Have you ever been in love? Yes. You ever had a terrible breakup? Yes, I'm divorced, so yeah, that was bad. How tall are you? Well, I used to be 5'6", but between my knee replacements and age, I'm down to about 5'4" and a half now, so I've shrunk about 1.5 inches. How tall? Oh, we just did that one. How much do you weigh? Oh, I'll tell you. It is what it is. I was around in the mid 220s, and I'm creeping back up to 230, but I don't want to do that with holidays coming, so I wanted to go back the other way. Tattoos. Nope. Don't want them. I don't like, not into pain. Not doing tattoos. Piercings. I used to have my ears pierced, but something in my body just rejects all the metals, and it didn't matter if it was plastic, if it was pure gold, whatever it was, my ears got infected, so I let them grow closed long ago. I have this weird body chemistry. It hasn't happened in a while because I think the technology has changed, but it used to be when I'd go in a store, I'd set the alarms off. You know, the ones that, the tag sensor alarms. So they'd think I was, I'm like, just remember, I'm coming in the store, so when I leave, this is going to happen again. But they'd never remember, and they'd always like stop me and want to look at my purse and all of that stuff. Got chased out of a store once by a guy that thought I was stealing something. It was always a pain, but I think the technology's gotten better because it stopped happening a few years back, thank goodness. I can't wear a watch either. Something in my body chemistry. If it's a wind-up watch, it just stops. And if it's a digital watch, the screen goes black. I've tried necklace watches, plastic watches, various kinds of metal watch. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is. So thank goodness for cell phones nowadays, so I actually know what time it is. But I've gotten so, because all my life I've never been able to wear a watch, I pretty much know what time it is. I mean, daylight savings time will mess me up for a little while, but like I haven't looked at the clock in hours, and I know it's probably maybe 1:15. Let's see, it is 1:29, so not too bad. I can usually get pretty close to what time it actually is. Piercings. Favorite fictional pair? I don't know. One of my favorite movies is Gone with the Wind, so I could say Scarlett O'Hara and Rhett Butler is one of my favorite fictional pairs. Favorite show? Oof, I have a lot of favorite shows. I like a lot of the medical ones. I like some of the cop type shows. I like reality ones like Survivor. In fact, I'm watching Survivor. I went back to the very beginning because, we're talking 20 years ago, so I'm on like season 3 or something where they were in Africa. So, I don't know. I don't really have a favorite. I like lots of shows. Favorite band? Giving away my age here and the fact I grew up in California mostly. Beach Boys. Love the Beach Boys. I like country, like George Strait and stuff, but he's not a band, he's a guy, but I like country music too. Something you miss. miss the way people treated each other in the past. There wasn't all that. There was people treated each other with respect, and even if they didn't have had a difference in of opinions, there wasn't all the hate and rhetoric that we see nowadays. I just don't like that. So I miss respect, I guess. Let's see, where are we? Favorite song? Oh, something I missed. Oh, favorite song. My latest favorite song you've probably never heard of. It's one my band from my church, they released a YouTube album. You should go listen to it. It's called In Jesus Name, and it's Valley Creek Worship Team. It's my favorite recent song because one of the lines is in Jesus' name we're taking back what was stolen. In Jesus' name we're taking back what was lost. We reclaim what the enemy's broken. In Jesus' name the victory's won. So that's a good song for what's going on right now. Hello, Freddie. My little rat dog came in to say hi. Well, he's not my little rat dog, but he's not really a rat dog, but he's so little we call him a rat dog sometimes. Well, I'm thinking of animals. I tried to take a picture of my chickens with their furry feet. I've got a picture of them, but you'll probably have to zoom in to see their furry feet. So I'll put that at the end so you can see the feathery feet, maybe. I don't know if you zoom in, if you'll be able to see them. They won't let you get very close or they run off, so I got as close as they were out on the back porch, so I just took a picture of them through the glass door, and hopefully it's enough where you can see their feathery feet because they're fun. Let's see. Favorite song we did. How old am I? I just turned 71 last week. My zodiac sign, I don't really believe in that stuff, but I'm a Scorpio. Partly why I don't believe in it is because my ex-husband and I were like total opposites, and his birthday's the day after mine, so we're both Scorpios. A quality in a partner: faithfulness. Favorite quote. Oof. It's up on my wall. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Philippians 4:13. Favorite actor. Ooh. I don't know. Don't really have a recent favorite actor. There's some I liked, like I used to like Sean Connery in the old James Bond ones, till I found out he was a wife beater type guy, so then it kind of lost its. So that's the thing with nowadays with all the media and this and that. You find out things about people that you used to admire, and then you're like, I'm not admiring them anymore. I used to like Cary Grant and all those old guys. What was the one that played Maverick? What was his name? Dark-haired guy. Can't remember. Anyway, I don't really have a modern day guy that's a favorite actor. It's mostly the old-timey guys. Favorite color? Well, I like red, like true red, like more the blue red, not the orange red, to wear. But to decorate, I kind of like yellow. Like I'd love one of those old, not that I'd want to keep it up nowadays, but I used to always, one of my dreams was to have one of those old farmhouses with the big porch across the front in yellow with white trim. But I need to paint my house, but I don't think I'm going to paint it yellow with white trim. That's not really conducive to a modern day house. I'll probably just do what it already is, which is sort of cream color with brown trim, like chocolate brown trim. I'll probably just repaint it that color. I don't even want to think about how much it's going to cost to repaint that house. I got a couple quotes, and it's in the thousands. Favorite color? Loud music or soft? Depends on my mood. If I'm bopping along in the car and some song I really like comes on, I'll crank it up. But if I'm just like relaxing, reading a book or whatever, I like soft music, so I like both. Where do you go when you're sad? I don't get sad very often. I'm kind of a upbeat kind of person. I guess I'd go in my room, maybe. I don't know. Now the dog wants back out. Like I leave the door cracked so he can come and go because he does it all the time. I want in. No, I want out. No, I want in. No, I want out. So he's just peeking out the door, seeing if there's anything exciting out there. Oh, there's those chickens with the feathers on their feet walking by my window again. Let's see. What are you going to get sad? How long does it take you to shower? 10 minutes maybe. I don't have long hair, so it's quicker if you don't have long hair. Maybe 15. How long does it take you to get ready in the morning? About the same, 10-15 minutes. Ever been in a physical fight? Not since I was a little kid and, you know, would push and shove with my sister, but not as an adult. Turn on. Well, if they mean in a relationship, honesty, fidelity, respect, those kinds of things. Turn off is the opposite of those, dishonesty, lack of respect. I mean, somebody that's verbally abusive, that's a real turn off. I went through that and never putting up with that stuff again. Reason you joined YouTube. My grandkids talked me into it. They thought I should have a cooking channel because I'm a pretty good cook. And somehow it evolved into this. And they were going to help me, and it was going to be a fun summer project for the three of us to do together. Psst, that didn't last. I started it, and they bailed on me almost immediately. So that's why none of my videos get edited, because I don't really know how. My grandson's the one that was going to do that, and he just bailed on me, so it is what it is. Fears. Well, other than, you know, fearing for your family's wealth, and I mean, well, not wealth, health and well-being and all that, but one of my, the reason this one came to mind is because I'm supposed to get an MRI in December, and I'm sort of claustrophobic, and if they make me wear a mask and do the MRI, I don't think I'll be able to do that. I mean, I'm willing to do the MRI. I've kind of got used to that, but I'm not wearing a mask too. The worst part is I have to get an MRI. Well, now it's down to every 2 years, but it used to be every year. I've got like a little bitty brain tumor, like right in the back of my head, but it never grows. It just sits there. It doesn't cause any harm. But for a long time, I had to go get head MRI every year, and now it's like every 2 years, thank goodness. But when you get an MRI of your head, they put this cage on you that's just like right up like this, you know, and it's the right in my face that bothers me more than anything. I mean, the MRI thing is above you, so it's not so bad, but that cage thing is like, oh. But since I've had to do it for so many years, it started, and they found the little, it's called a meningioma. They found it back in 2007 because they were giving me an MRI because I had a minor stroke, so they were checking that out, and they found that little tumor thing, and it doesn't do anything. It doesn't bother me. I forget about it most times, but yeah, that's why this fear came up, is because it's about to happen again. And I've gotten so I can handle it, but I still don't like it. I put it off as long as possible. I was supposed to get it done in like July, and I'm like, I don't really want to wear a mask, and they're like, well, we'll put it off till December. But now I'm like, I still probably have to wear a mask. Who knew it was going to be this long back in July? Okay, fears. Yep. Last thing that made me cry. I cry at everything. I was watching, they have new season, not new season, but continuing season or whatever, of some of my favorite TV shows, and one of them, it's a crossover show or spin-off show or whatever of Grey's Anatomy. It's called Station 19. It's about a fire department, and it's gonna make me cry again. they had this one scene where the fire truck's going through town and all the people are like, yay, and hold up signs and just really appreciating. And since I have a son that's a fireman, that really moved me. Still does, obviously. Um, anyway, so some of our favorite TV shows are starting to film again. I'm not sure quite how they're doing that, but they are. um, let's see, where am I? Last thing made me cry. Last time you said you loved someone. I said it to my granddaughter a couple days ago when I was signing off from us doing a video chat. Meaning behind YouTube name. Well, if those of you don't know, my YouTube name, of course, is Blessed GMP, and I'm blessed. The blessed part's because I feel blessed, and the GMP stands for Grandma Pat, and that's what everybody calls me. Like I was talking in one of my recent videos about the Chinese students that lived with us for a while, and haven't been living here in years, and they still text me sometimes, and they all call me Grandma Pat. All my friends call me Grandma Pat. If you go and look at my my food video I did with food taste testing with my grandson, there's a couple comments from some of my grandson's friends saying that they miss seeing me, and they call me Grandma Pat. So all the kids call me Grandma Pat. That's where the GMP came from. Last book you read? Well, I just read 1 Samuel of the Bible this morning. Book I'm currently reading. Well, I read the Bible, try and read the Bible every day, but I'll say I'm reading a new book. It's a new series. It's called Love and Pets or something like that. And it's sort of a light romance with pets involved. If you Like the first one was about somebody with a pug that was having issues, so she takes him to the vet, and then of course eventually her and the vet fall in love and blah blah blah. So, you know, one of those kind of things. And the next book, it's a three story book or three story book or whatever. It's got three different books in the book that I'm reading. The next one, the one I'm reading now, is about a crazy cat lady. She's like a young girl, like in her 20s, but she's got like probably 80 cats in her house. So they haven't said it, but it says she's agoraphobic. She doesn't like going out, and she just rather stay in with the cats and gets panicky when she has to go out and stuff. So something happened in her past, but you don't know what it is yet. Last show you watched. I'd watched that one I was just telling you about, the Station 19, and then it segues into the newest episode of Grey's Anatomy, which was kind of tear-inducing too, because they were talking about how hard it is for them to lose patients to COVID, and how hard it is to get like the masks and protective stuff that they need. So that was kind of rough watching that. Last book you read, book you currently, last show you watched, last person you talked to. Well, I just talked to my son a minute ago. I was unpacking groceries, and he said, grocery store? And I said, yep. That was the sum total of our conversation. Relationship with the person you last texted. Oh, geez, who did I last text? Last person I texted was, I got a random, I didn't recognize the phone number, and the text said, how are you? So I texted back, who is this? And it turned out it was somebody wanting to buy my house. I have not the one I live in, that belongs to my son and daughter-in-law, the land and all that. But I have a smaller house that's like 1,400 square foot, little 3-bedroom house that I bought back in the early 90s, so I've had it quite a while. It's paid off. And I rented out to my daughter-in-law's aunt and uncle, actually, but So where was I going with this? Oh, that text was somebody wanting to buy that house. I get calls, texts. I don't know how they get my phone number, but I think something to do with the tax rolls, and they can get your name and phone number, who belongs to what property, and all that. So anyway, I'm like, nope, it's my income property. You can't have it for your income property. um, Favorite food? Well, I have a couple categories. I love Oriental food. I used to live in Japan. I don't know if a lot of you know that, for 4 years. So I love Oriental food, and I live in Texas, so I love Tex-Mex / Mexican food too. Tex-Mex and Mexican aren't exactly the same thing, but I like them both. So today I'm making homemade chicken noodle soup. My grandson wanted me to make it, but he doesn't like it with the vegetables in it, so I'm trying to make it have some flavor without, you know, the onions and carrots and celery and all that you normally put in it. So I'm putting celery salt, onion salt, that kind of stuff in it. So right now I'm just boiling a couple. I bought them a long time ago for some other purpose and never used them. They're like thigh and leg combo, and there were a couple of those in the freezer, so I threw those in water and I'm boiling them, and then I'll take off the skin and shred up the meat, and then eventually I'll add more broth to it and some more spices and some egg noodles, and we'll have chicken noodle soup for dinner. Favorite food, yeah, there's lots of them. I mean, occasionally I'll eat sweets, but I used to be more of a sweet eater, but now that I'm gluten free, you know, you think about it, most sweets have gluten in them. So, and I'm kind of trying not to do dairy because it gives me a stomach ache if I have too much dairy. So if you think about it, almost all sweets have either dairy or gluten or both. So I don't eat a lot of sweets anymore, which is probably a good thing. I've been on a kick lately. There's these, they're like a fruit popsicle kind of thing, fruit bar or whatever, frozen fruit bar. They're called Outshine, and they have, like, my favorite's pomegranate and pineapple, and they're like 60 calories, so I'll have one of those for a snack, and it's just basically frozen fruit juice, but it's, you know, it's not, doesn't have added sugar and stuff, so it's pretty good. Place you want to visit. I doubt if this will ever happen because I have a clotting disorder and I can't sit for long periods of time, like on a plane, without worrying about getting blood clots. So I doubt if I'll go these places, but I always wanted to go to Ireland because I'm mostly Irish, and I'd love to go back to Japan since I lived there for 4 years, go back and see where we lived and all that. But I doubt if I'll go either one of those places because we're talking like hours and hours and hours on a plane, and yeah, that's not a good thing for me. I mean, there's places in the U.S. I'd like to visit. I was supposed to go on a cruise in October. It was, if y'all know who Beth Moore is, she's a Christian woman. She writes women's Bible studies, and she was doing this cruise with Christian women, and it started in Boston, and it went up. It was supposed to go in the fall with the leaf changing and all that. It was going to go up the coast and stop in like Maine and some other places, and you'd get off and check out the town and then go up to Nova Scotia and then come back down. And I was going to go with my daughter-in-law's mom, who's a good friend of mine, but of course that went out the window. Maybe in a couple years. I doubt if it'll happen this coming year either. Maybe in a couple years. We were going to go because we both turned 70 last year, so it was going to be our 70th birthday present to ourselves, and so we had bought, you know, we'd already paid for it, and then they ended up giving us back our money, but we didn't get back we got trip insurance, but they didn't give us back the trip insurance. They like, oh, well, you can use it if you use it within the next year. Well, look what happened. We still can't use it, so I lost that $300 trip insurance, but at least I got the money back from the cruise. Let's see, where would I want to go in the United States that I haven't been? I haven't been on the East Coast at all. I've been to Washington, D.C., and that surrounding Virginia, Maryland, that surrounding area while I was at Washington, D.C. I've been to Florida, but I haven't been to any of those, like Maine and Connecticut and New York and Pennsylvania and, Massachusetts, any of those type places up the Northeast. I haven't been to any of those places. I've been most of the western states. Been to Nevada, Arizona, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, all those places. Texas, of course. I wouldn't mind going to like the Cayman Islands or one of those, like an all-inclusive resort somewhere, because that's not that long of a flight, and it would seem like a vacation, or go on another cruise eventually in a few years when it's safe. Let's see. Last place I was, well, I was just at Walmart picking up my groceries. Not too exciting. If they mean last place I was out of this area, oof. Where did I go? Went down to visit my granddaughter in College Station, which is south of here, about 3.5 hours. I'd like to go. You drive through Waco on your way down there, and Waco is where, what is their names? The Magnolia Farms people. They used to have a TV show, Chip and Joanna Gaines. I don't know if you used to watch their show. It was, they'd buy a house, a couple would buy a house and they'd fix it up for them. I forget what it was called. Fixer Upper, I think it might have been called Fixer Upper, and they stopped doing it after they had their 5th kid, I think it was. But they've got a place down there that's called Magnolia Farms, and it's got, like craft stores and restaurants and, all that kind of stuff. So sometime when we go through Waco, we'll, on the way down to visit our granddaughter, we'll stop there and hang out, or on the way back, or whatever. Do I have a crush? Or did I have a crush? I guess it's did you have a crush? I had a crush on Elvis Presley. The young skinny Elvis Presley, not the older fat guy. He was a looker. I love guys with dark hair and light eyes, like blue or green or whatever. I think that's a great combination. So when I was a teenager, I had a crush on Elvis Presley. Most of my friends had a crush on one or the other of the Beatles, but I know, terrible being a 60s teenager, but I didn't really care for the Beatles that much. I was more Beach Boys, and Elvis Presley was more my gig than Beatles. Last time I kissed someone, well, do the dogs count? I kissed one of the dogs today. I haven't kissed anybody in a really long time. And if they mean a romantic kiss, it's been a really, like years and years. I mean, I'll kiss a family member occasionally, but I'm not much of a hugger and a kisser. I think because I grew up in the West Coast and that's not their thing. When I moved down here to the South, I had to get used to people hugging all the time. I would just stand here like, oh, what's happening? But now I hug back. I got used to it because I've been here over 20 years. But when I first moved here, all the hugging was kind of uncomfortable for me. Let's see. Last time I was insulted. I don't know. Can't think of a time last time I was insulted. I'm sure there was a time, but I just can't think of it. I let stuff like, what's the phrase, water off a duck's back. I try not to let stuff like that bother me. Occasionally I'll keep it with me, but I try and release it and just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. I used to do that to the grandkids when they'd be griping and moaning about something. I'd sing that song and they're like, no. I'm like, and then it got to be, do you want me to sing that song? And they're like, no, we'll stop. They didn't want me to sing the Let It Go song. Favorite chat up line. Well, this one, it never was said to me, but when they go on vacation, they usually go by car, like they're gonna go skiing or whatever. They'll pile on the car and go drive, 12 hours or whatever to a ski resort. So they were having this conversation when my grandson was younger. He was like 10 or 11, somewhere in there. And they were talking about pickup lines, and he didn't know what that was. So they explained what a pickup line was. And so he's like, oh, I've got a good pickup line. And they were like, oh, well, what is it? And he's like, if you were a booger, I'd pick you. still cracks me up. That's my favorite pickup line. Can you imagine if you really actually said that to somebody? Oh, have you ever used that line? No. Last time I hung out, I actually went to breakfast with my small group. One of the ladies in my small group, that I lead a small group for church, women's group, mostly women, 50 to me, I'm 71, so that age range. And we've been doing Zoom for quite a while, so one of the ladies, we were doing shoeboxes, for Samaritan's Purse, where they put together a shoebox. I did a video about it. And we were meeting at breakfast to hand our shoeboxes over to one of the ladies that volunteers there and helps sort them and get them packed and shipped off to whatever country they're going to. So we met for breakfast and gave her all our shoeboxes. So that was the last time I kind of hung out. But other than that, nobody hangs out right now, unfortunately. I am going to go out to my other son and daughter-in-laws, and I guess that would be considered hanging out, but I haven't done it yet. Who should answer these questions next? Well, I'm not going to tag any of you. I'm going to try and, typed all these down. I listened to Nina's thing, and I had to keep pausing it to type them and pause it to type it. So I typed them all up for you, so I'll try and put them below so that you don't have to type them up. So I hope you enjoyed this. Got to learn a little more about me and my crazy life. There's 50 questions, so I hope you got a cup of coffee. I should have told you to get a cup of coffee or something, because this is probably a long video. Well, it is. It's 32 minutes long. I guess we'll end it quick. So if you like these kind of videos, or unboxing videos, cooking, crafting, whatever, I do a little bit of everything. So please subscribe and hit the bell and get notified. And if you want to do this, I'll put the questions below for you and go for it. I'm not going to... I'd make Alex do it, but Nina already tagged her. So and Tiffany wears t-shirts. Nina tagged Alex, and Tiffany wears t-shirts, and I forget 2 or 3 other people, but she didn't tag me, but I don't care. I'm doing it anyway. Hope y'all have a great day. See you Friday when we do our Friday 5.